Hi there.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Hill and I am the co-founder of In and Out Fitness.
Nice to meet you. I'm Greg, the applicant.
Nice to meet you too. Please have a seat.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good actually. The weather's really nice outside. So I've kind of been outside soaking up some sun because the past few days, past week or so, the weather's been like really cold. So it's been nice having that warm weather finally.
That's awesome to hear. And the drive was okay?
The drive was really good actually. I think because of the coronavirus, it's
Yeah.
not a lot of people on the roads. So there's the good and the bad. But yeah, it was smooth sailing to get here. Yeah.
Perfect. Before we get started, can I offer you a drink? Any water?
No, I'm okay actually. I have a water bottle in the car I've been sipping on, so I'm okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, no worries. So thank you so much for coming to in for this interview. We received your resume and we were very impressed. So I'm excited to learn more about you. So just to confirm, the position that you've applied for is a group fitness instructor?
Yep.
Awesome, thank you for clarifying. Now let's get started. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about what the process of today's interview is going to look like. We're going to start off with me asking you some education and experience questions and other relevant experience pertaining to this role.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some self-evaluation questions, followed by some behavioral questions, and then I'm going to give you a little bit about info about our company In and Out Fitness as a whole.
Okay.
After that, I'll give you some opportunity to ask questions, and then the closing will be me offering and telling you what the next steps are.
Okay.
Just please note that I will also be taking notes during the interview if that's okay with you.
Yeah, totally fine.
Perfect. So let's begin. All right, so looking at your resume, what was your highest level of education?
So I've previously completed a Bachelor of Kinesiology at Brock University, and I am currently pursuing a degree in nursing at York University.
Awesome. What courses did you take while you were at Brock?
So I took different courses, some physical education courses, gymnastics, different developmental games courses, health policy and promotion. I've taken training principles, different taping and wrapping courses as well.
Nice.
Health assessment and guided exercise courses as well.
Awesome. That's a great wealth of knowledge there.
Yeah, they definitely had us studying a lot over there. So
That's awesome. So going back to, you mentioned that you have a degree or you're pursuing a degree in nursing. Why are you pursuing another undergraduate degree in nursing?
I guess to kind of diversify in a sense. So with the coronavirus, like different health promotion professions have been hit definitely. So I guess in a sense to kind of diversify and have that security in a sense. So I've kind of pursued nursing in a sense, but I still have that passion for health fitness and educating individuals on how they can be their best selves. So when the position arose, I thought this would be a great job to be involved with while I'm in school, and I thought it'd be very beneficial.
That's
I
awesome.
think that I have a lot to bring to the company.
Perfect. Are you still pursuing any jobs, volunteer, or relevant experiences specifically in the health and fitness field?
Currently, no, not at the moment. Yeah.
Are you still working out? Are you?
I am still working out. So I do work out at LA Fitness, actually not too far from here, Oakville, and there actually I actually have 6 or 7 clients that I work with there. So that's a bit of a private endeavor, and so we work out, and I've been working with them almost a year now, and it's been amazing to kind of see them progress from where they've been initially starting out with me, and to seeing their growth over the past year and what they have been able to accomplish. And so I walk alongside of them, but it's really them who's putting in the work, and it's been amazing seeing what they're capable of. So,
that's awesome to hear.
Really nice.
Perfect, thank you. So I see on your resume, you've worked at a private health and fitness clinic called Mackenzie Medical. Can you tell me more about your duties there?
So at Mackenzie Medical, that was a physiotherapy and wellness clinic. So we dealt with a lot of MVA, so motor vehicle accidents, different other injuries and different claims that clients would come in with. So we help to rehabilitate individuals and help give them the tools that they need and necessary to have their best, their quickest healing treatment.
Awesome. How many people did you see throughout the day?
Throughout the day, maybe 15 to 20 or so patients.
Awesome, thank you. Your resume also indicates that you're currently employed with CAMH as a nursing program assistant. So can you tell me more about your duties there?
So that's the Center for Addictions and Mental Health. We're located downtown, and we deal with individuals who suffer from different mental illnesses and different challenging backgrounds that they may have faced in the past. So patients come in with schizophrenia and psychosis and possibly drug overdoses. They may be admitted voluntarily or involuntarily by friends and family or by correctional officers as well. So we across a great span of different patients, whether that be young to old, different cultural backgrounds, and whatever that may be. So I think that's very beneficial.
Thank you.
To this job, actually.
Are there any transferable skills on that note between your current job and with this role?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked. So with that, I think working with the different clients who, like I said, who have different cultural backgrounds, different age groups. So we deal with young children even, as right up to seniors and geriatrics. So I know you guys at In and Out have a wide member base. So you guys have younger people working out with you guys, and right up to older seniors. There's no age limit, right? So it's as young as you feel. So I think having that ability to be working with diverse populations is very transferable to the In and Out fitness model.
Perfect. And why are you still seeking new opportunities if you're still currently employed at CAMH?
So I think it's really because of that passion. Like honestly, I have a really big passion for health, fitness, and promotion. And I just want everyone I meet to just have the same fire that I have for fitness and health and well-being. So if I can push individuals to kind of be their best self, that gives me even more of a drive to be involved in health and wellness.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. I can definitely see that in you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask you a couple requirement questions since we do have some requirements for this job. Do you have a valid personal training certificate or group fitness instructor license?
Yep.
Perfect. A current first aid and CPR license? And at least 1 year experience in a group or personal training environment?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
How many years?
I think about 5 or 6 now, yeah.
Perfect. And last but not least, at least 3 years experience in customer service?
Yeah, definitely. I think I have about 8 or 9 years in customer service.
Awesome. Do you have any additional certifications or courses you took related to health and fitness after pursuing kinesiology?
I took a nutritional course with Sheridan College. So that was a week-long course going over different benefits of nutrition and diet. And yeah, so it was really beneficial in a sense, tying that into my practice with working with different personal training clients.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. So I'm now going to move on to the self-evaluation question. I have 2 quick ones for you. My first one is, why did you apply? So what value do you bring to this company?
Well, I think that I'm a very positive individual, and I'm able to kind of push people to be their best self in a sense. So I think I'm able, with that, to bring out the best in people. So when you come in on your worst day and you feel like you don't really want to work out and you don't know if you have it in you, I'm that guy who kind of goes alongside you and gets you to give that 110%, so that by the end of it you're happy with yourself, you're glad you did it, and you can really see the progress over time. So I think that's definitely a key thing that I bring to the table, as well as different very easy to speak with. I'm not I don't I'm very receptive to criticism in a sense, so I'm very open, and I'd like to hear what I can work on.
Perfect. I love that. And the other question is, how would your colleagues describe you?
I think they would say that I'm a very optimistic individual, very outgoing, very patient, and hardworking. Yeah.
Those are good qualities. Awesome. All right, that ends our self-evaluation question. So we are now going to move on to the meat of this interview, which are behavioral questions.
Let's go.
So I'm going to be asking you 6 questions. I'm going to ask you about a specific time in the past, and I want you to refer to that using a STAR model.
Okay.
So I want you to explain the situation, what the task was, what action you took, and the result, the outcome at the end.
Okay.
Perfect. So my first question is, tell me about a time when you went above and beyond to provide exceptional service.
Okay. While working at Mackenzie Medical, so I had a client, let's call him Sam, and Sam came in. He was a new client to the clinic, and he had sustained a lower neck injury from a motor vehicle accident, and we were trying to set up his billing information through his insurance provider, and for some reason it was getting held up, and it wasn't getting processed at the time that we thought it would. So I kind of discussed with him that I would work with him anyway, and I would give him treatment and give him the tools that he needed to kind of better his health, even though the billing situation wasn't really working out. So kind of adapted to that situation and worked with him.
Okay, nice. So how long was this an issue for?
So this was for, I think, almost a month or so, that it was kind of getting held up. So I was able to work with him still, but yeah, it was for about a month.
And how did you decide that you could offer pro bono services? Is this company policy?
It's not necessarily company policy, and it wasn't out of the company's pocket. It was on my own time. So I took it upon myself to work with him on my own time to kind of help him with his treatment. So I knew that it would be at a disservice to myself, in a sense, you could say. It was worth it because I saw that he really needed the treatment and he was really going through a hard time. So I didn't want his billing getting held up to be a roadblock in his treatment.
How did you know he was going through a hard time?
What he explained to me, the pain that he was facing, but I could see it on him as well. And yeah, so just basically through discussion with him and what I saw, I definitely knew that he was struggling. Yeah.
So how did he respond to your offer?
He was really happy about it. Yeah, so he was happy. Wouldn't even really describe. He was ecstatic in a sense. Yeah, because I know it's not. Like I said, it's not company policy, but it's something that I thought he needed. So he was really happy about it.
Were you recognized for your efforts afterwards?
No, not necessarily. No, it was never really brought up to the upper ups, and wasn't really why I did it. It wasn't really for recognition. It was really just for that client to kind of go above and beyond for him and give him the treatment that he needed. So whether that be stretching my hand out and giving him that extra service,
Thank you. Was there follow-up afterwards?
He had given me, I don't know if it's follow-up, but he'd given me a card actually recently, just thanking me for the service, and that was really nice of him. He didn't have to, but it was really nice of him. And yeah, so that was, and we stay in touch here and there, and I check up on him, but he's doing a lot better now. So that's
it's amazing, so rewarding.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing. My second question is, can you tell me about a time when you had to handle an unhappy client?
At CAMH, so that's at the hospital. We have a lot of patients who come in going through experiencing different psychotic episodes, different drug withdrawals. So there was a patient there. He was going through an episode of withdrawal from some different narcotics that he had been on.
How often does this happen?
Maybe once or twice a week, we'll have a patient come in with a similar scenario. So he had come in and he was very agitated, very challenging, verbally abusive.
What did he say?
Very disorganized. Just different profanities and things. He wasn't in a great headspace. He wasn't in and that wasn't necessarily him. That was more him coming off of the drugs. So you have to kind of understand that it's not the individual, it's what they're dealing with. So you can't take it personally.
How did you respond to what he said?
So you have to come with a listening ear. You have to be empathetic and patient with the individual. So
what did you do in this situation?
So in this situation specifically, I sat with him and I was able to kind of listen to what he was experiencing. He said he was going through some different pains and things like that. So we were able to get him some medicine for the pain to kind of subside that, and that was able to bring down his discomfort in a sense. So once that was happening, once he knew that we were there listening to, or that I was there listening to him, he was able to kind of come down from that very agitated space that he was at.
And how did you feel?
I feel really good. It was nice. It was nice to see him kind of change from that I guess that difficult patient that he was to a much more receptive, much more easygoing, communicative patient. Once he recognized that I was listening to him and really hearing what he had to say. Yeah.
Thank you. And was there follow up afterwards? This specific situation?
In this specific situation, not necessarily. No. He was admitted, and he was able to go through the detox program, and he was successful through it. Actually, he actually was one of our most successful patients, and he was discharged, and he is out working, back at work, back with his family. So it was really a happy story, a happy finish. Yeah.
Thank you. My next question is, tell me about a time when you were able to build rapport with someone, even though it was a difficult situation.
When I was newly hired at CAMH, and the floor that I was on.
What was the floor?
So it's a geriatric forensics floor. So it's older patients who have had different run-ins with law enforcement. So I was working on that floor, and one of my coworkers who had been working there for a number of years, so he was a bit older.
Sorry, when did this happen?
This was when I was newly started at CAMH.
Was it this year?
No, sorry. So it would have been last year. Yeah. Late last year.
Okay.
So newly starting there, I was working on the floor, and I was working with a coworker. We've been working there for a number of years, and I just sensed some, I don't know if I could call it tension between the two of us, because he worked nights a lot, I worked nights a lot, so we worked with each other quite a bit, and yeah, so I could kind of sense some tension there for some reason. I didn't know why it was there. I didn't have any problems or any issues with him.
How did it make you feel?
A little bit uncomfortable in a sense. It was just, I just didn't know why. He would. It felt like he would avoid me or choose to work with other nurses for different tasks, and different program assistants for different tasks. But
was this reciprocated as well on his end?
No, I was definitely open to always working with him. I had no problem, no issue with him. But I brought this up with him, and to my surprise, he didn't even know about it. He didn't have any issue at all. He was like, oh my goodness, I'm glad you brought this up. He wasn't aware of it at all, and that was just how it was just his demeanor in a sense. So once I kind of vocalized this and communicated this with him, it was a completely different situation, and we really hit it off, and we're best buddies now. We honestly, we go out pretty regularly, honestly. Yeah, so we're really close now. It's been a really different change just from kind of bringing it up and vocalizing it and having that open communication.
That's awesome. Was anyone else involved in this scenario?
No.
Awesome. And how do you know that rapport was built?
I guess you can kind of just tell when you hit it off with someone, and you can. It's less jarring. It's less work, and it's more just fluid. Like you kind of just get along with the person. You're able to work smoothly and with them. So you kind of just get a sense for it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. So my next question is, tell me about a specific time when you had to make a split-second decision.
Recently, just a few days ago, we had a code blue on the same floor I'm on.
What is a code blue?
So code blue is a scenario where a patient is having a circumstance where it could result in a life-threatening issue.
Okay.
So
where was this?
So this was at CAMH on the same floor. So I was working a night shift, and we were doing nightly rounds. Rounds is where we go around and check up on our clients and make sure that they're breathing, they're in bed, everything is okay. And I noticed with one of the patients, she was foaming. I saw some foam at the mouth, and then so upon further inspection, I saw that she was having a seizure. So me and the other program assistant, we turned her on her side, and we were able to call the code blue. We have tags that we carry around we're able to call a code blue, have the nurses come, and the doctors as well. But yeah, we started vitals on the patient. He was taking vitals, and I was able to record different blood pressure and heart rate, things like that. Yeah, so definitely just taking those immediate measures, having the patient on their side, taking down those vitals, staying with the patient, making sure that they're alert. There's different things that have to be on top of in a stressful situation like that.
What was the environment like on that end?
Yeah, so the environment was very stressful. So it was very stressful.
How did you feel?
I was pretty calm. Yeah, surprisingly actually. I felt because we go through training in different scenarios. So when it actually happens, you're not really caught off guard. But yeah, so it was a stressful situation, but I was fairly calm.
Awesome. How did you prioritize what mattered once you saw the
I
foaming?
guess just prioritizing. So prioritize ABCs at the hospital. So airway, breathing, and circulation. So just make sure the patient is safe. So turn them on their side so they won't asphyxiate on their spit, and making sure that they're conscious, awake, and being with them and the entire process. So not leaving them alone, but being with them, taking down those vitals, and just making sure we're able to assess them.
On that end, is there a policy to making split decisions at the hospital?
Yeah, so I guess policy in place would be just maintaining patient safety at all times. Yeah.
And what was the result at the end?
Patient was okay.
Okay.
You're probably on the edge of your seat. Yeah, patient was okay. No, she was okay. It was she had a seizure, yes, but we were able to give her the appropriate medication, and she was okay. All was fine. She actually went back to bed, and after a few hours, but she went back to bed and was able to sleep through the rest of the night.
Good. Were you recognized for your efforts in this situation?
Not necessarily, no. Yeah, not really recognized, but yeah, just regular duty,
Duty calls. Awesome. Now, can you tell me about a time you had to adjust to changes that were out of your control?
Changes are out of my control. So, applying for the nursing program, actually. So after completing bachelor in kinesiology and changing paths into nursing, so I applied to a few universities, and so I applied to some second entry programs in a few universities, and I actually had to go back and do some high school courses in order to apply. So I did that whole thing.
How did you feel?
It was hard. It was a little disheartening, You finish 4-year bachelor, and it's now you got to go back and do some high school courses in order to apply for this program. But I did them, and I was able to get through that. And I was able to actually get accepted to York, and unfortunately not the 2-year program that I wanted to, but the 4-year program. So that was kind of the situation where it wasn't in my control. I couldn't change it. Emailing back and forth frantically, trying to change it, but it was out of my hands. So I had to kind of adjust to that. So
on your resume, I saw that there was a gap between you working full-time for a bit before going to nursing, becoming a full-time student again. So can you tell me a bit about that adjustment?
That was definitely an adjustment in itself, because you're probably not really familiar, but with, I guess, coming from work, going back to school, it's different, very different. You have a lot on your head, a lot on your plate, because when you're working, when you leave work, that's it. There's nothing on your brain, right? You can turn off your brain, you go home, you veg out. But when you're in school, you always have assignments, tests, exams, different things that you're always worrying about, stressing about.
How many things were out of control?
A lot of things are out of control. So it's with school, different assignments and very many things you have to get through that are in your control. You have to do them and to get through the program. So adjusting to that and allotting enough time for each thing. So I learned time management. It's definitely a big thing that opened my eyes to. I needed to work on time management because I was not good at managing my time.
On that note, how long did it take to adjust to this change?
I would say maybe a few months, honestly, getting into it. But now it's a completely different story. I'm able to allot time for studying, a lot of time for my relationships, a lot of time for family, friends, for work. I work part-time as well. So it's being able to allot enough time for each individual thing. It's been definitely a change, something I had to adapt to, but it's been beneficial.
So would you say, what was the process behind pursuing the nursing degree?
So
what kind of thoughts did you have to?
So I had done some research initially, and
That's good.
on the definitely. I've done a lot of research actually on the program and the profession, and so I have some friends and family who were involved in it, speaking with them, different research online that I did, pointing me towards nursing as the job security, room for growth, and different avenues that you can get involved with, and the different departments and different units that you can work on. So that's what kind of drew me towards it. Although kind of leaving that, I'm not really ready to leave that fitness aspect behind. So I'm hoping to be able to incorporate that into my nursing practice, maybe working on some physiotherapy floors, and different things like that. But at the moment, working with in and out would be great. But yeah, it's been definitely a change, definitely a challenge, but I've been able to adapt and overcome with it.
Perfect. And my last question is, tell me about a time you had to handle multiple responsibilities and were required to prioritize your tasks.
At Mackenzie Medical, I worked as a administrative, I guess you could say administrative supervisor, as well as a kinesiologist on the floor. So working with the different books, paperwork, things like that, and actually dealing with patient exercises and things like that. So balancing.
What are the other things when you're treating these patients?
So working with the patients is working with stretching, working with prescribing exercises. You're describing and demonstrating exercises for them, giving them exercises to do at home, and doing different active and dynamic and static stretches.
And what duties were required at the front desk?
Front desk, that's overseeing billing, patient admittance, so you're setting up a patient file for them, making sure that they have the correct insurance documents on file, because it's a lot of different papers you have to work with, the different insurance of those involved, and if the spouse has different insurance, you have to incorporate that. It's just a lot to be able to oversee, but trying to balance those different hats, I guess, that you could say.
What's the environment like?
It was very fast paced. So we have patients coming in, patients going out, and you can't really let anything fall through the cracks. So you have to allot enough time for patients when they're in the clinic, but you still can't forget about patients who maybe haven't come in a while, and you have to give them a ring, check up on them. Haven't seen you in a while, yada yada yada. I guess you'd probably be familiar with that here. As patients over time they fall off. February comes around, and the New Year, new me starts to fade. So I think it'll be very transferable here in a sense. We're able to check up on patients and be intentional.
How did you decide which was of higher priority between the two?
I guess prioritizing the patients. So if the patient's in the clinic, never letting them feel as though they're being abandoned or neglected, but working with them. And then in my free time, or when I'm not currently dealing with the patient, being intentional with checking up on patients who I hadn't seen in a while, or staying on top of different billing and filing requirements that I have at the clinic.
So these are all specific behaviors you've exhibited.
Yes.
In the past.
Yeah. So it's definitely being able to manage different time constraints and allotting enough time for each.
Perfect. Was there anyone else involved in this situation?
Just the clients, basically who I deal with. Yeah.
And how do you stop it from happening again, or how did you stop it from happening again? The issue of not being able to prioritize. How did you stop it?
I guess being on top of organize. Once you organize your time in a sense, whereas these are the tasks that have to get done for the day.
Can you relate it to a specific task or a scenario that this has been occurred?
So I guess I would say there was a specific patient who preferred preferred, I guess, extra time. He would say with treatment, and we couldn't always offer that because we had to give equal time to different patients. So explaining that to him and explaining the different tasks and duties that we had to be involved with.
How did he respond?
He wasn't too happy about it at first, but once I kind of explained what needed to be done in a day, and he was one of many patients. He was actually very receptive and understood that, okay, yes, that makes sense. You look after a lot of things. You know, you have a lot of other patients and duties you have to be looking after. And once he kind of heard the concerns, he was open to working with us so that we could work with him. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the end result?
He was happy about it, and he was able to. He received treatment very well, and everything went well with him.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. So that ends our behavioral question portion. So I'm now going to tell you a little bit about our company.
Okay, for sure.
So In-N-Out Fitness started off as a mobile at-home fitness service that has now expanded into a storefront fitness boutique.
Okay.
Establishing itself as one of the top member-centric, family-style driven gyms in the GTA.
Okay.
Our mission is to make our members physically and mentally stronger in 30 minutes. We pride ourselves in having quick, efficient, and functional HIIT, high-intensity interval training workouts, maximizing your time at the gym in the shortest time possible to achieve maximal gains. Our team is composed of top-tier fitness professionals who are passionate about helping our members achieve results one rep at a time.
Nice.
On a daily basis, depending on the class size, there will be 1 to 2 group fitness instructors leading the bootcamp circuit classes. You may have as little as 10 people in a group or up to 30 people. So you can have a small or up to a really large class. And so we're currently hiring for a part-time position requiring the ideal candidate to have flexible hours from Monday to Sunday. So whether that's early mornings to evenings to the weekends to the occasional holidays. We're looking for like-minded individuals who have high energy and enthusiasm, sharing the same passion to help others grow and to push them to be better versions of themselves. Our company offers a welcoming environment with competitive pay, flexible hours, in-club training, annual paid health and fitness conferences, opportunities to grow and advance in your career. We hire within. And best of all, unlimited membership to our facility, free of charge. We got to walk the talk and live out healthy lifestyles ourselves.
Yes, I like that.
Well, personally speaking, there's nothing more rewarding than just simply seeing members achieve their personal goals and seeing these life-changing results because of their hard work and grit. For me, I can definitely resonate with the cliche, do what you love and you'll never work another day in your life.
Nice.
Therefore, here at In-N-Out Fitness, my promise and our promise is to help you feel welcome, feel motivated to do great work, and feel inspired to perform at your best.
Nice.
So that's a little about us. Now I want to give this time to ask you, do you have any questions about the interview process, the position itself, our company, or anything else we've discussed?
Not necessarily, no. It's you guys you did a great job of explaining and outlining different duties involved, and like your business model, what you guys believe in, and your morals behind it. And it definitely aligns with what I'd like to be involved with. So so hopefully we can connect. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that concludes our interview. Thank you for taking the time to come in and share your experiences with us. It's been a genuine pleasure to meet with you. So at this point, we're still in the middle of interviews, so we're actually interviewing up until Friday. And so once we finish our interviews on Friday, we're going to take the weekend to assess and think about our potential candidates. And then by Monday, we will contact all of our individual candidates to let them know if they are successful or not. If everything goes well, we'll have you come in to meet the rest of the staff. So we'll offer you the job next week and begin your onboarding training. Is the number on your resume the best one I can reach you at?
Yeah, for sure. You can call me anytime in the evening. It's fine.
Perfect. Well, that's everything. So thank you so much. It was really such a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure was all mine.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. You as well.
Bye.